G'day, today we're having a look at the weekly challenge. So this one is set in Tokyo. And we have 150 road tiles, no further are offered. No roundabouts are offered. Trees can't be destroyed. So that's going to mean that we're going to have to spend sort of road tiles getting around the trees. You can sometimes use roundabouts to sort of like stretch out your road tiles. So losing them's going to hurt too. So I guess motorways are going to be the big thing here. And being very careful with our road usage. This should be a pretty fun one, I'd say. At least the good thing is that because we don't have roundabouts, that means there's one less thing that we could possibly get offered at the end of the week. So we're not going to get offered roundabouts, and we're not going to get offered 30 road tiles, I assume. So does mean that it's either going to be traffic lights or bridges or motorways. So hopefully we can end up with a fair few motorways because of that. But we certainly shall see. Certainly shall see. The nice sort of pink and blue that we've started with here that complements the water and the trees that we've got. Whatever colour comes next is just going to ruin it. Unless it's this orange, I suppose. Yeah. Traffic lights, a bridge. Just cutting the corner as much as we can is going to be important here. So we will just do those. Generally, I'd prefer to sort of have that loop a little less of a tight corner, because it does look awkward for the cars as they turn there. I don't know if it actually does slow them down or anything. But I'll save that extra one road tile just in case it ends up being the difference somewhere along the line. In the same way, I won't connect... I assume I'm going to have to connect this guy. But I don't need to just yet. So I'll just leave him disconnected to leave it so I can sort of consider options. Okay. I'm going to do that. Because I would have had to have spent one connector to get him there. And I reckon this is possibly sustainable until the point where this is going to collapse. And that's not going to be as big a difference for this guy over here. So that's a nice win, this one. All things considered. Especially the road tile situation. There's always definitely a sense that I get around the 50 to 100 mark where you go like, nah, I'm looking really good. Maybe this is the one where we just go forever. Never look back. This is certainly a candidate for a motorway. We don't really want to work out a way to just sort of maneuver around to avoid using two bridges. Certainly, unless I'm getting offered motorways, I can just keep taking more and more bridges to cater to doing these direct sort of routes like that. We go motorway. I won't... Yeah, as I say, I won't use it yet, because I'm sure that something else will come up soon enough that'll need it. And there it is right there. So we won't do a little hook out or anything there. We'll save our road tiles and just let them go basically direct in. I mean, I was going to say this makes an argument to potentially try and lower this road a little bit to give it the chance of some more yellow houses appearing up here and not on this side of this island. But that is a, that tree we wouldn't be able to get rid of. Same way we'd have to go all the way around there to get this guy connected to this. See how this guy goes with his two. Possibly angle these guys in so it sort of connects that way, and then have this guy come across to give him a third. We'll just let him roll with 2 for now. Yeah, I'm going to want that guy connected because it's a long way to go for just 2 houses, so we are going to have to waste a little bit of road there, but again, this is another candidate for a motorway. Weird little out in the sticks position this guy's taken. Creating some weird little neighborhoods out here that are almost the job that they're currently doing is just sort of playing blocking for new destinations rocking up down there. If I remember correctly, generally this whole corner up here ends up being these sort of rose gold houses. So it could end up being a real big horde of them there. So what we're going to do now, because this guy will need more houses. He's not going to be able to survive on just 2. Okay, let's stop for a second there because this is getting worse and worse. So what we want is that guy can connect this way. Now I've got a problem in that I probably am going to have to use a motorway to attach him. Let's firstly just sort of flip this a little bit. Like that. So those 3 guys can focus that way. Then we'll get those 2 guys to come down there. Now what I wanted to do was make this a motorway so that I could then just run these 2 guys straight up there, but I now have to get over here. But I don't want to really give up on these guys being destined to go there. I mean, they can still sort of just roll around the outside, do that. Then what I could do is just use a motorway to attach those 2 guys to that. Which is definitely a very temporary setup for what these guys are doing. That's a helping hand for this guy. One more guy down here and I'll cut those 2 guys off from this network. Okay, so let's demolish that. Let's work out what the sharpest cut down can be, which is there. Run. Gotta wait for that bridge to return. Bit of a mile away from his buddy. We're hoping for nothing but motorways at this stage. Alright. We're now getting a little neighborhood down here. There are 2 circular guys here that are just being managed by 5 houses. Yeah, and there's a guy south of that. It's, okay, so we don't have any bridges. But let's go. Now, I've got 2 choices here. I could connect these 2 guys to this road, connect that to there, and then have these guys flip over the top to go to that house. But we'll just go the motorway. At the moment, I'm feeling pretty good about the amount of motorways that I'm seeing show up. So optimistically, hope I'll see a few more. Sort of on a pretty weekly, regular basis. Okay, so there's a week without one. We are down to 54 tiles. We could connect these three guys. Okay. Connect these three guys by just sort of running them down. But they would need 2 bridges in order to get to here. Unless we got them connected to purple. So these guys are playing backup for him. What we could do is just run, say, a connection like that, and then have them just run like that. Doesn't mean that they're interfering with a couple of different routes there, which I don't like. But short of having more motorways, that's basically our best setup, I'd say. And sort of most cost efficient. Okay. The amount of times I just keep thinking, oh, I can just easily draw a road here to sort that out, and then realize, oh no, because I can't really expend the road tiles. Basically, we want that to... Yeah, as soon as I express my confidence in... confidence in getting motorways pretty regularly. What happened? Okay, well these two guys we can connect on here. Anything what we could do is just say make that connection and then we can get rid of that. I don't think that those guys would sort of be using that too much anyway. So what we can do is just make that shift. Okay, plenty of rose gold coming down south now that certainly don't need to be worried about having these guys at the top connected. We do need to worry about getting these guys connected though, because we want guys closer to that situation looking after it. That's a nice sort of extra cover for this guy. We do have, well, I was expecting a whole lot of rose gold sort of coming down to look after this. But what we need to look at is how can we get more blue houses into this area. This guy is doing incredibly well. This guy needs the help. But basically, it feels like what we need is a motorway. Does look like he's losing the battle at the moment. We've got this guy here that we can just sort of, he doesn't have to do too much to sort of join in. Okay, so down here we're going to need to get a lot of these guys. Let's sort of whip that through there. I'll take another bridge. Now this guy here is not doing too great. But I suppose we've got these two houses now. We can just use as our help to address this guy. His position has him a little bit blocked in. I could possibly get these guys around the edge. This guy will get to look after that. We'll get this guy attached because he's not looking great. I could also have just used, say, this guy here to come down and be one extra square. Give him a second person to help out. But it's just more that I'm running out of tiles that are a little bit of a trickier position. Alright, we've got another blue there. This guy doesn't have his people left home, which means that this purple guy is a bit probably more managed than it looks like. But we're in dire need of motorways. It's like, feels like we've got to get another destination in there. Surely it's a huge gap. Great. Okay, so motorway. There we go. Okay, so those two guys in there. Luckily we got another house to help offset what we just took. Okay, let's go. One, two. So then what we've got is these three houses here. Take care of that. We can then go 1, 2, 3. Here, sort of give them back what we've just taken. And the problem is that this guy still needs access. So I'm going to cut through all of that. But it means that the motorway is going to basically sit there for now. And that's just for now until we can, I guess, get another motorway to take these guys and connect them down here. Basically, that was just a move to try and get us a bit more of our road back. The other one will be if we can cut this. A lot of purple at the top for not much purple going on up there. Good. Motorways are going to start to come a little bit quicker, hopefully. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of that. We'll put that straight on there. We'll pause while we do this. We'll get rid of that whole section. We will get rid of that. And we'll rethink about who is actually doing this duty. So because we can always shift that guy onto here if he needs help. And if we're moving him, it means that these... Oh, we could go those 4 and potentially him as a 5th. Or we could go these 4 up here. Go these 4. So we've just got to wait for that to come back to us. In terms of this one, we might just shift this to there. Just so that sort of they're a bit more at the end, as opposed to like hitting an intersection to try and get into it. Which means that currently this is stealing 2 different motorways. Waiting to come back, cool, so that's 1, so purple will be back on the move. And there's the other one, so we can just shift that to... Yeah, I'm still not convinced that that's the most useful layout here. I suppose I can get this guy to connect need be, but that is only a square destination at the moment. It's not a circular one, so it might not matter too much. Just keep an eye on how we're doing for the amount of guys that we've got helping out here. We might not have enough, but we'll see. Luckily, at the moment, we've only got squares for both of these guys, so they're not too big an issue in the amount of sort of potential demand that could come that way. Alright, well, we've covered 4 bridges now, so we might go for 2 traffic lights, because I'm not sure bridge is going to be our problem the next little bit. Get those 2 guys connected just to him, just to give them a little bit more room, wiggle room. Alright, this guy definitely needs the next motorway. You can see that he's starting to surge a bit worse. There's all of these guys currently aren't home. It's probably way more houses than he really needs. This would be the other one I wouldn't mind getting rid of because it's quite long, which would give me back a lot of road. But it's also, it doesn't matter. There's so many extra houses I could give to it that I don't even need to worry about at this stage. There's enough rose gold houses down here too that I could possibly just shift this road just to sort of turn that way, as opposed to keeping it the way it's currently facing. But we won't worry about that for now. What we will do is we'll just pause. We'll get rid of all of that. Get in Highway 6 to hopefully make them slightly more efficient. Good thing about a motorway for this section here too would be that we can then cut a few of these guys across. There are some buildings, this guy here and this guy here, who are both just operating off one house still. This guy can't really get anyone around to him to help out. I could always shift that guy back, but that would take the closest guy to him away. If anything, more likely what I would do is I could claim like a little bunch of guys down here that, and if I have extra motorways, and connect them to him, so I can give that to this guy as like a much closer house than the ones that are currently supporting him. Blue I can't get up and around the top. I can't cut through there either, so there's no way to get these 2 guys over to this house. I mean, what I could do is I could connect this house to him, because it'd be so close. Now we can see that this guy here is starting to get a little bit worse. So we will... This guy, so what we want to do is we want to get some of these guys connected. And what we want to do is now get this guy connected. So, what we're going to do is we'll shift this back to here. We'll take those 5 houses and do that. We'll get rid of this. What we'll do is we'll run him like that. So that a little bit more, so they can sort of like, yeah, just share. Now, that is a pretty busy line as is, so it's not a great fix, but short of having another motorway, it's probably the best temporary one we've got. As they both start to complain, you can see that they're certainly slow going as they move through there, so we definitely do want to try and find a alternate option. Alright, let's pause for a second because this is getting bad. Let's turn him around so he can help out with this guy. Everyone's not at home for him, so let's get that guy connected too. Alright, so we have this community up here... Alright, so it's... Even this guy here is actually also starting to push, so they might just be having just a little surge of their own. So let's just get as many guys as possible connected into this. We've got a group of 3 guys here that would be great to get connected to him. So if our goal was just to connect that, what motorway could we steal to just temporarily take care of that? I think it's possibly purple. You get rid of purple's motorway. We don't have to worry about the bridges actually because they've got more than enough bridges. Alright, just have to connect around that for now, which is a bad move too, because now it means that we're not going to get that anywhere near fast enough, surely. Is it gone? It's gone. Alright, so let's get these 3 guys to just jolt over there. And if there's no one on this path, nah, no way that's going to make it. Nah, he went quick. Alright, not too bad though. 3,500. Let's have a look. Top 2%. Number 39. I feel like I could have got higher than that, but I mean, definitely nothing to sneeze at. Thanks for watching. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. Until next time, catch you later. See ya.